Starting stream.
Hello everyone. So welcome to another CrossCode dev stream. I actually stopped counting. I already forgot which one that is. So
It might be the 7th, 6th, I don't
The
know.
X.
well, it's not that important anyway. So
In
okay, so
2000.
today so first of all I'm Laxen, also known as Felix, and with me in Skype are Stefan, Eddie,
Hey ho.
and also this time with us is Henning, aka Geflügel.
AKA Hannah. Hello.
Hannah, yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm so
Exactly.
nervous. Please be gentle. It's my first time.
And also what we have today is a new stream layout. I actually spent an hour or two today to assemble that. Also thanks to the question, aka Teku, aka Daniel, who helped me put all this together. He explained how things work. And yeah,
It's so pretty.
yeah. So that's our stream for now. Let's maybe wait a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, let's wait like 5 minutes or something, or 10 or 15
Yeah. Mm.
or 30.
Okay, so what will we do today? The plan was, or still is, that we will do animated map tiles. Yeah, I should switch off my smartphone. Wait a second.
Well, it seems like it's actually not lagging for me.
Okay, back
So I
again.
guess Skyping while watching the stream actually works.
Yeah, Skyping is no problem as long as we don't transfer the screen, then it gets slow.
Okay, yes, that's good. That's good to know. So yeah, welcome everyone again.
Mm. Yes.
So
Okay, the plan was to do animated map tiles. So a bit of background for that. We are using the Impact.js engine, and Impact originally does support animated map tiles. I'm not perfectly sure if that's still the case for the newest version, actually, because we didn't update for a long time. We kind of diverged from the original branch. So we removed animated tiles in the engine because we used this option where all maps graphics are pre-rendered in larger images, because this really improves performance for rendering complex maps. Unfortunately, this doesn't really work for animated map tiles because they kind of like require that you draw the tiles again every frame, so individual tiles compared to large images. And that's why we don't have animated tiles. Whenever you see something animated in CrossCode, it has to be an entity. And that works well for most things like enemies or NPCs, but if you talk about like animated water or maybe some moving plants, that's actually kind of inconvenient to do that with entities, especially for water, because you have a large area of small individual graphics that you want to combine, and doing all that with entities it's very it's kind of difficult to do. It's also not very optimized because having entities is always a bit of an overhead. So the plan today is to implement animated map tiles again, and we want to do this without losing the advantage where we pre-render stuff to larger images. So the idea is that you just draw animated map tiles on top of the pre-rendered images. Yeah.
Yep.
That is the plan. I actually wanted to prepare this because we're actually now going to dive pretty deep into the engine code. I'm going to modify stuff that's supposed to be not modified in case you were using Impact.js, but we already modified most of the engine. And I'm not sure how far we will get today, but it might be interesting, especially for those who want to see how the engine works a bit, so you can get a glimpse on different parts like map rendering, mostly map rendering actually. So yeah. Okay.
Okay. Did you do the tweet stuff and everything?
Yeah,
I already did.
All
I
right.
already did.
Very good.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So yeah. Any
Go ahead.
questions so far? I don't know. Before we start.
I don't
diving
think
into
so.
the
That was
Really?
just a
I
question why
guess.
we didn't announce the stream on the Steam group. We just forgot.
Yeah,
We'll
did we ever?
we'll do it next time.
Yeah, we
So
should. I guess, yeah. We
yeah,
have so many
I haven't
platforms you
even
have to
thought of that.
consider. Okay,
Yeah, it gets a bit confusing.
we
alright.
need a ninja.
Okay, so what I did actually for today's stream layout, I'm now recording windows compared to my whole screen. So hopefully things will be faster. And that's also why I have to switch between programs here in what's the name? OBS? Yes. And I think in general it should be smoother today, hopefully. So better frame rate. Okay.
It is pretty smooth, for me at least, and I'm Skyping meanwhile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
looks good to me too.
Right.
Engine code.
Engine
Looks so
code.
white. It's way too
Oh my
white.
god.
Oh, I like white IDEs. I'm sorry. It's okay. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna increase the text size so people can actually read some stuff. I hope that's large enough. If that's not large enough, please just mention it in chat. We can make it
I think it
larger
is large
still.
enough if you are using full screen.
Yeah, well, if you have full HD resolution and using full screen should work more or less.
No,
Yeah.
he means you as the viewer do full screen.
Yeah.
Then you actually see everything quite clear.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I meant. And it's actually quite good today because you can have full screen and still see the chat. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we also see the
So-
chat now on the desk screen. So now you can actually see the lag we always have in Twitch. So that's why we react so slow to questions. At least that's one
I
of
guess
the
That's,
everybody knows that.
Yeah, I guess.
yeah, that's normal in Twitch.
Probably the only
But
Twitch
that
thing.
also means that you should behave like a proper member of society. Otherwise, the world will be able to see
Right,
the chat log in the.
Let's go deeper. What is a proper member of the society?
What's a proper member of the society? What? How? Why? How do we get?
This is a very
You're
deep
saying
topic.
shit or fuck not proper or is it proper?
Oh my.
I
Okay.
think that's pretty okay for us, but it's not proper to be mean to other people.
What? Why? How do we get to this topic anyway?
Because I was just warning everyone to behave.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, it will show in the video that we
Mm.
will upload on YouTube.
I guess. So,
Uh,
yes. What I'm currently looking at is the map.js file, which contains the base class for all map structures used in our engine code. This is not only used for graphics, but also for stuff like the navigation map, the collision, and all kind of maps really. Like the lightning effects are also a special type of map. What we're gonna modify today is the background map, because we only need animated tiles for background graphics. Because I don't think we need animated collision tiles. That would be
Oh,
very
there's a question. That guy returns with, did you save? Now that's a good thing. Don't need to save.
yeah. Well, I'm using
yes.
The IE does this for
Yeah.
us.
This time we
Which is
don't have
pretty
that
awesome.
problem, but still, thanks for reminding me. It's always good to do that.
You can still press Control S.
It
I
might
think,
be if we are actually
Yes.
fast enough. I might be able. No, we can't. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just gotta talk to somebody for a second.
Yes, for everyone who's wondering, Felix does the stream from his university, so we get a better uplink.
Mhm.
So there might be other students that pop in.
Yeah, there are even students here on
Oh.
on weekends, though it's less likely to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
The good thing about recording a particular window is that you don't see any other windows that I'm using. That's actually kind of nice. So okay, right. So let's continue. We are gonna modify the background map today, and we will start by just adding, look here, we actually have it already here. It's the anims tile. Um, the anims tile, that's still from the original Impact.js engine. And something I didn't remove yet properly. So let me first have a look to try to understand what this actually did.
Students are popping. Well, sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, happens.
It depends on what they eat, I suppose.
Interesting. I don't even know what that anim stuff here does. Let's just remove that and instead
And then nothing works.
everything is broken now. Yeah, I'm just gonna clean up the code first. Yeah, our code is not entirely clean. That's not really the case.
Yeah.
Especially
So
the
everyone
stuff
was
I'm working on.
Yeah. So today we're not going to do much graphics.
And everybody's leaving right now.
Yes.
There are going to be some graphics because we
yeah.
need to animate tiles, so there are going to
Sure.
be
I will
graphics.
try to do the technical stuff pretty fast, so hopefully there will be some time for doing some actual tile animations just to see if that works. And I'm gonna need some simple test graphics anyway. Right, so the first thing we should do now is define the way our tiles actually are animated, so how the animation is composed. To do this properly, we need to create some JSON definition that's loaded and then can also be modified by some editor, but I think today I will just do something very simple. I'll create I think I'll create a new base class. Not sure if base class is really the right thing to do, but we can move this later. Which I call tileinfo.js. Yeah, I don't have any nice templates to do this stuff for me, like some other people on our team. Anyway.
Also, something that we could actually mention before we before we started doing animated tiles, we actually had a different system for water because the water in the autumn area is actually animated, but it's just an optical trick, so to speak.
Actually, I can show this. This might be interesting. Also, it's some graphics, not just code.
Yeah.
Let me just show this for a second. Okay, switch to the browser. I can show this in the map editor.
Having animated tiles might actually help with the performance too.
It
Not
might.
sure, though.
It really depends. So, in principle, animated tiles should be a bit quicker to render than entities because there's less overhead. But the downside is that the nice thing about the way we render the water tiles is that we have a very small number of draw calls. And if we just use basic animated tiles, we will have more draw calls, and we have to be careful that this still runs fast. But that's actually something we can optimize later on. So in any way, I think it's good to have animated web map tiles. So let me just show on the autumn area.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we do right now. We have just some static graphics for water. And on top of these graphics, we put entities, like this is of the type scalable entity, scalable prop, I mean. And it's just these small dots, really. And these dots are then very slightly animated to kind of make the water shine. It's not really all that effective because, like, the border of the water is still static. I think it would be much more effective if the border of the water would actually be moving. And so what I think we should do instead is just have animated tiles at the place where the water touches the land, like on the border of the water. And also somewhere in between we can place a few of these glowing dots just to have some animation inside the water. But something I would like to avoid is having every water tile here as an animated tile. I'm pretty sure that will be slow. But I might be wrong. We can try that, but I think it might be problematic. So yeah, so that's the plan. We're gonna replace those entities with actual animated tiles. Okay, and now back to coding.
Which will be much more convenient.
Yes, that too. I mean, it will be much easier to work with animated tiles. So what I'm going to do is create a new tile info. What you see here is pretty much how classes work in Impact.js 2.
Yeah, I think that's okay to show because
Yeah, I think it's
what they
even
show on the page.
it's publicly documented, so it should be fine.
Someone said that we should turn off our Skype sounds. But,
Oh man, I always forget to do that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think it's just Felix.
Yeah, it's always me. Okay.
Yeah, but
All right.
the
switched
funny
off.
thing is that I really got a Skype message like at almost the same time as you, apparently.
Yeah, because we're in the same chat rooms.
Yeah, I
Surprise.
just want to say we are in the same chat room, so it makes sense.
No, but it was in a different conversation that I got the message. So
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
yes.
So yeah, sound is off. That guy asks us, speaking of animated water, will there be fish in the water as one NPC stated? Well, the company we have is called Radical Fish. I think this answers your questions to the best way we can.
No.
So
But,
yeah, I think we're not sure. It's like a small detail we would like to add, but we'll see.
We just have to be careful that we don't make fish too hardcore.
Yeah.
For all the Dwarf Fortress players of you out there.
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
we don't have any here, but
Okay. So, what I'm gonna do today is just hard code the tile info. So I'm just gonna hard code the animation in that info, and later on we will implement it that it's actually loaded from some config from some JSON, which is loaded dynamically when you enter the map and all that stuff. Because that's a lot of code, but just doing something hard coded should work rather quickly. The only downside is now I have to actually find out the proper tile indices, and to do that I actually need to create the tiles. So yeah, we are already going to Photoshop, at least for a short time now, and I'm gonna
Graphics
create
on.
some tiles. Okay.
Yeah, you can open you're doing this in the autumn tile set, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna
Alright.
copy some tile and add some red dots for now, just to see the difference. So I'm not gonna create proper graphics now, but I will do this later maybe. Opening the file.
Yeah, some people many ask if we can make the screen big again because mobile users can't see anything. Maybe we should have a third or second layout where we just focus the big screen, and when you code, you can easily see that.
I think what I will do next time again is just using not full HD resolution, but 1600 times, because that's what I did last time. That's also the reason why everything is smaller, I think.
Ah, yeah, because you have an HD monitor,
Yeah,
right?
I have full HD resolution, which gets downscaled on something full HD. So, yeah. So next time, actually, I can try to do this later. Maybe it works. Though, and I'm not gonna do this now because it might just break everything. So let's just. I will try to zoom in and make the font size larger, so hopefully people will see the most important stuff.
Popsicle Pete asked, so the avatars are controlled by people, right? Is it possible for people to control non-humanoid avatars? There is nothing planned of that kind right now.
Yeah,
But
not really, no.
not really.
Yeah.
So
There are no beast man.
Beastman and
So-
cat girls and
Yeah.
bird
Just
people.
avatars. I think theoretically, if you're speaking based on controlling mechanism, you could do it right because you just control another character. It's just more difficult because it's probably not run on 2 legs, maybe on 4,
Yeah, it's
something like that.
right.
I would say.
It would be much more difficult for the control mechanism to translate the movement the movement of the human controlling it to the being that it controls. If the being is like a like a four-legged creature or a fish or a bird or something. At least that's how I imagine it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's kind of it's possible, but probably not something we're gonna focus on in CrossCode, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I just added animated water tiles, so for now I just added this red dot here to show that we have some animation. I will try to do some animation later. Actually, I just animated the one tile I actually didn't want to animate. I mean, what the hell? Let me just let me use a tile I actually want to animate, so.
People can actually see how our tile set is constructed, which is also nice. Like we're really using a normal tile set,
Yeah, we do.
nothing new.
Yeah, that's something I'm not fully. I kind of regret making this decision because it's on one hand, well, I mean, you can just reuse graphics very effectively. You have smaller file sizes, that's an advantage. But it is actually a lot of work to assemble stuff like this, and then mapping with that is also a lot of work. So I'm pretty sure there are more effective ways to create 2D games. And
however, sorry, go ahead.
No, that was the most important stuff I wanted to say anyway.
Right. Yeah, but trees and like props are actually entities. So these little plants, these trees, and these huge stone monuments that you can see at the entrance and exit of some maps are actually entities. So we give them a height, a width, and a depth, so to speak.
And those are pretty easy to map, yeah. So what I'm going to do now off screen, actually that's why I probably should still be on Photoshop. What I'm going to do right now is try to find out the tile index for this certain tile I'm using, where I have to use something called math. So it's probably not going to work out.
Oh wow, it's
First I have to
dangerous.
understand how many tiles.
Yeah, math is an asshole.
Math is your best friend if you know how to use it.
Yeah, if you're doing game dev, you kind of have to do some math at one point.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Google can do math pretty well.
Yeah, it's not that hard. I think there are some things that are a little bit harder. Like I remember you working a whole day on the floating physics.
Yeah. I got the floating physics stuff, yeah.
But now they work, and it's cool.
I thought they worked, and then there was another bug which I fixed later.
I remember the skill tree. Skill tree was math too. Was it math?
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of very, very detailed stuff in the skill tree.
Yeah,
the pre-rendering
like
of the skill trees and everything. Like, Kenny, you always see the editor, right? The editor, and how the editor just does lines. And it's very easy to do in HTML because I can just put in elements and it works. But in the game, we actually pre-render the overview of the skill trees. So when you enter the circuit menu for the first time, we just render it once on a different canvas, and that's something we need to do recursive because the skill tree has always an element.
You know what?
Element has children and so on. Yeah, Felix.
I think it's faster if I just take something in the code and then just read in the editor how the tile index is. I think it will.
Yeah, right. That's much easier.
Yeah.
Did you try to count?
Yeah, just counting stuff takes too long. At least I'm not good at counting. So let's go back to the editor. That's the way to do it. Okay, I'm just gonna hack this now. Just go to edit map. There's a set tile function, hopefully. There is none. Great. Let's go to map. Should be here. That's the wrong one.
Oh, no.
We actually added some new trees. Now where somebody's talking about trees.
Yeah.
We actually added some new trees. apple trees. And Hannah and
Those
I
are
were
very
busy.
interesting.
Yeah. Well, we were busy editing the new destructible plans and some more detail to the maps.
I mean, I have no idea what this weird cube tree is all about that he is talking about, but those apple trees are amazing, I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Like
mean,
they
have
give
apples.
maps such
Gee, browser's not working.
such
Come on.
an easy depth because we just add some apples on the ground and some apple trees, and suddenly you have like a special place
Right.
where you can see apples, and
Here we
you
go.
probably
Okay.
get apples much easier there.
Yeah, those are fruit apple trees, not like apple trees that give iPads. Sorry to disappoint you.
Well, it's the
Because
future, so maybe we
ma-
can do that.
maybe it's fruits. It's fruits that actually are also a smartphone or a tablet.
Yeah, that's the next step.
So
Actually, Felix currently is on a map where we can. Oh no, not now because the entities are not visible.
hmm.
But there are some new plans.
Yay, I
But
got
no,
my tile index. Okay, go on.
and good error, resource error.
Hmm?
You got a resource error.
Never mind that.
For me, that's not so
That's
bad.
not important.
Yeah, that's
That happens.
we can ignore that.
I think we should make a special reward that is titled "Find out the truth behind the cube tree."
Yeah,
What
plot
cube
That's
tree?
like 1 million.
You can't gain the achievement. It's not possible because there is no cube tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we could make like the reward like if you pay 1 million, then we will implement a cube tree, and you will also get a cube tree plush, and maybe even a poster of the cube tree.
So 1 million, I think the good trade would be to add a cube tree and a plush. That's a fair trade.
Of course, I think that's great. I mean, some
Trading.
people are really.
What we have been working on this week. That's a good solution right there.
What we've been
Yeah,
working on this week. We can show some stuff actually. I can do this later, somewhere in between, if things get too boring.
So, and we can show.
I'm just currently very nice. I'm in the programming mood right now, so I just added the one
Don't
animated.
disturb him.
I'm in the animated tile. Where was I? Yes. So here is my animated tile definition. I just say, okay, that tile with that index now actually has this animation here. For now, I will just say that all map and tile animations always have 4 poses. I'm actually gonna limit that all tile animations should have 4 poses, 4 frames, I mean, because that way we can actually do some optimizations. If you have some synchronized animations going on, then it's possible. That's why I want to keep it simple, just 4 frames.
Yeah, I think 4 frames are enough.
I think it should work, yeah.
It worked for
those
old
tiles.
games pretty well. I think in Velzebor you had 4 frames too, right?
Yeah, I had
And-
these
and-
cards
yeah.
animations.
Yeah, it worked completely fine.
Okay, I have animated tiles here. So what next? There should be a timer to actually display the animation, and I think I will actually make a global timer for that. I could just do it in every map, but that's kind of unnecessary because all of these animations should be synchronized.
Definitely.
So, but what I can do is, now I'm just gonna go to the game model now and just do, yeah, that's kind of hacked, but whatever. In the game, I will just add the tile frame. Okay, let me think
So
about
for
that.
everyone that was that's joining or just joined, today we're going to add animated tiles, which means you see a bit more coding and less graphics this time.
Hmm?
But if you stay,
Yes,
you eventually
but
will see some nicely animated water, hopefully.
red dots.
What's
Oh,
background
And
or
of
water
animation?
course,
even.
you will see placeholders, but implementation is
Yeah.
today. So
And when it's done, you will be having water that's much nicer to look at
yeah,
and easier to
right.
do.
I again find some weird code about background animations with tile sets, where I'm not entirely sure what is that from the original in-engine code. It might be, or did I maybe add this somewhere? That's interesting.
While you're figuring it out,
Um,
I'm to answer a question.
Do that.
yep.
Do you guys have PvP planned for the game? We
It's
do have, in
actually
fact,
it's
we have an idea
it's in
about
a stretch goal.
PvP. Yeah, it's a stretch
Yep.
goal, but that's not that we planned out PvP. Like not at all.
So
But we have an idea how it works, how it could work, so to speak. And
and have you guys reached out to Total Biscuit? Yes, we did, but he doesn't let's play demo versions of games.
oh yeah, that's actually just where we said we can actually answer some of the comments. Maybe we should do this in an update too, but just because some people asked. First of all, we didn't have an update in the last few days because we were told that we're doing too much updates. And
By
Yeah.
one person, so we immediately stopped.
Yes.
by one smart person, so
Yeah. I mean,
actually by two people. So let's be
yeah,
honest. Two
that's
people.
true. 2 people.
So, but these two people are actually they know what they're talking about. So we
At
kind
least
of
one
took
of
their
these two.
advice, and instead we've been working a bit more on the game, which actually is great because we did it a lot in 1 week again. It's crazy,
Yeah.
and also
But
it's
it's
like
actually
it's
pretty
fun.
relaxing.
Yeah, well, relaxing for you. You just have to map.
Yeah, but I think it's a good it's way less frustrating than like doing certain marketing activities
Yeah,
because you
like
actually know
working
that
on the game is like somewhat. Yeah, I don't know. It's like so much fun. I even find, especially when we redid some of the maps, added some of these new plans, we could actually add some new puzzle mechanic, not puzzle mechanics, but
yeah,
like we place the destructible items like so that you need to aim properly, or sometimes you just can't walk to them and just punch them. You have to throw a ball at them, something like that, or use
yeah.
use the wall to get to the plant, and I think Hannah did some really crazy stuff with it.
It's not that crazy. It's just like some simple ricochet um, f- puzzles with trees and walls and yeah, it's I kind of see it like small small puzzles on the go. That it's not a real like complicated puzzle to reach them, but it's something that you can go do real quick when you're on the run from one place to another, and you see some nice plants that give you items, and then you will to reach them you have to make do a well placed shot that might also need to ricochet a bit from walls or trees or something. I think it will be pretty. It will be a lot of fun. I think.
But we still need to test a bit because currently we're playing around with drop chances.
Yeah.
So there's a nice mechanic in place that guarantees you get the rarer item if the random value is low enough. But it awkwardly leads to the fact that you sometimes get more rarer items normal items. So I think that's just because the drop rate for the normal items is actually just not high enough. It's like 8% for the rare item and 12% for the normal item, but that's just a difference of 4%, and that's not enough. Like needs to be 20, I think.
And it's basically that the rare item. Oh no, wait, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, what we did is actually a little bit, or Felix did it. He added like a system that can guarantee a drop. Like we can make it so that some plants will always give you an item, but not always the more rare item.
Yeah, actually, why don't we show this like a bit while you're talking about it? Because I think, I have fun programming here, but I'm not sure people have watching me. So let's maybe just in between show a bit of the game.
Yeah.
Someone asked, because it fits the topic right now. But when you can only solve puzzles as a Spheromancer, what's with the other classes? Well, actually, the other classes also have those basic throwing ricochet mechanics. So they would be able to solve those puzzles as well, just like Spheromancer do.
Yeah, we couldn't explain dungeon design otherwise, really.
Yeah,
because but it won't be a ball for the other classes. Probably
some
like a
different
small
kind of
triangle for
Yeah.
the tri-blader.
Exactly.
yeah.
That's
But
So I just started
it
the
works
game,
the same.
and you can
Yeah.
see here we have the new plants, and they're very shiny. And
oh yeah,
now I
that
can,
runs much smoother than last time.
Yep.
That's really good.
now I can just throw
Yeah,
balls at
definitely.
it. Just do the traditional chests, of course. And
Oh yeah, we actually increased
you can
the
see sometimes they drop
we-
an item, and I can just collect that like that.
we actually increased the contrast in the chests and made it so that even if you stand inside the chest, you can click on it, because some people got a little bit confused about what to do with this object,
Yeah, exactly.
especially if you play with the controller.
Whoa.
You can also show the new item HUD. We added a new option. I personally like that option a lot.
Actually, I like it, except for the fact that there's no symbol.
Yeah, there's no symbol because I could add a symbol.
You
It's
can
not
add
that
symbols for
hard.
the small items too, and then that it might be better.
Yeah, currently the problem is simply that the font is not installed for the small version, so it just ignores the item. And I just saw you clicked outside though. when
Yeah, it
that
happens.
Stick in focus.
Yeah, as you just were able to see, Felix actually got the super rare
BSC.
item, the BSC card.
Yeah, and as
Yeah.
you can see now, we get small text for the items now. So that's an option, and we might also have icons here. Okay, yeah, I collected some items now. Something else I can show is I think I still prefer the large ones after all. But yeah. So what I added too is this kind of signpost. That's actually a new kind of entity that you can just interact by hovering or by just focusing. So in the same way you focus an NPC to talk, you can just focus that entity, but you don't have to click anything, and you will just immediately see the directions. So that's something we implemented this week. And then we have the trading NPC. Unfortunately, I removed that one. Damn it. Yeah,
You can just teleport to edge test.
yeah, we'll do this later. But let me just show one of the nice puzzles that have been implemented.
Oh, I haven't even seen that.
Yeah, that's like part of the new Xeno dialogues idea, how we display text content on the map, which is pretty rad. Can you still open the circuit menu mid-air?
Yes, you can.
The circuit. I think he talks about the quick menu. Yeah, you can do that. I think that's okay.
Mhm.
It's just a bit weird because when you use an item, it looks weird, but could lead to some cool tactics. I think.
Yep, you can just eat an item while falling
Yeah.
down.
You
the cliff.
go to the bottom right in the map with the strange tree. If you have.
I like this one here. This is you cannot hit this plant because it's too high up. So what you have to do, you have to get on higher ground
Right,
and
right.
try to hit it again, like this. So yeah, so height is very important, CrossCode. If you didn't know yet.
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, so another thing-
Leah actually has weapons. Leah uses chakrams.
Yeah. Yeah, to see
Yeah, but
the-
it's all in the.
So something new we
It's-
added
yeah, it's
too
also
is
implemented.
we implemented now kind of like stairs, or like you can't just walk up in the autumn area without having to jump. I'm not exactly sure how to describe that really. So that means that also other enemies can follow you now, like these meerkats, they can follow you on higher ground and also on lower ground. And the same for the buffalo, so that's something we added too. And while it doesn't look like anything special, oh, something's wrong with the pathfinding here. It doesn't look special, but there was actually a lot of work to get this done because of pathfinding. Pathfinding is always a hard thing to do. And for some reason, this meerkat is just doing nothing. Okay, never mind. So that works too, and you can expect more interesting terrain using these options.
Yeah. We also reduced enemy counts on the maps because it was a bit difficult.
Yeah, especially on this map here.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
So that there were like 4 meerkats, but it was just overkill. People got really frustrated, understandably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And-
we really reduced a lot of the enemy groups on some maps, especially on some of the later maps, and
Yeah.
on the beginning maps as well, because a lot of players had problems in the very beginning defeating several enemies at once.
So here's one of the more advanced puzzles to hit those plants, because you cannot hit them straight by just throwing your ball straight. You have to make them bounce somewhere, and there's this one piece, and here actually you have to aim pretty precisely, and then you can hit them. So that's
I
Kinda
think those that's a really clever puzzle.
yeah. I wonder why that is.
Yeah. As said.
So yeah, that's kind of like what we've been working on this week. We extended puzzle mode. These kind of
Yeah, there's a
Stuff you
question
can do.
concerning the stuff we did this week.
There's actually
What's
quite
the
a lot of
rank
questions.
at the top, Felix?
Sorry, what?
That's something you implemented. So,
Oh yes.
what's the new rank? The new rank system.
Yes, the better rank system. Actually, let me just load a more interesting, better save state for that. The better rank is a new feature where you start with rank D, and you can, by just defeating more and more enemies in quick succession without any breaks in between, you can increase your rank. And with a higher rank, you will get better items, and you get more items, so the probability for item drops increases. Let me just show this. So, oh yeah, things are getting slow now. Oh my gosh, why?
It's not like completely finished. I think there's even a bug. If you are good enough, you can go beyond. the
Oh
S
yeah, I
rank
didn't fix
and
that
crash
yet.
the game.
Right.
Yeah, whoops.
But it's just like a small detail.
So you can see now I'm already on rank C, and I will just now I have to, before the blue line disappears, I have to attack new enemies. So you actually have to hurry.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the blue line on the stream
Oh, okay.
because it's cut out, but you can see it at the
Dang,
bottom.
it already failed. Damn it.
Like,
So-
yeah, it creates an interesting option for players that want to loot, because you can make battle strings where you just move from one fight to another and try to keep up your rank.
Yeah.
And we might even thought to make it so that you can get rank up faster if you fight more diverse.
That's an
So
option.
just spamming, just
not a bad
spamming
idea,
close
yeah.
combat will make it so that you get less points for the rank, and if you like trying to use everything you have, then you get more out of it.
Damn it,
It's basically like a mechanic that that gives you a reward for playing more risky, because if you want to make large battle strings, you have to fight without regenerating.
I don't have any skills, that sucks.
It really sucks.
Yeah. Battle is not much fun without any skills. Unfortunately, you cannot call the menu while you're inside the battle string, so when you enter the menu, you will lose your rank, essentially. And you also won't regenerate any HP as long as you keep your rank.
Unless, of course, it's like HP from equipment and modifiers.
Yeah, of course, these regeneration.
It's like Felix currently has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For some
right,
reason I
that's-
have this skill, but I don't have any... I know it's equipment, right? That's
Yeah,
probably
it's
It's
Equipment.
equipment. You
It's not the skill. yeah.
most likely have a leaf cape or something,
Yeah.
or a daikon.
So yeah, I'm ranked
Right,
D now
let's-
anyway, so I think that's enough for this feature.
Yeah. Go
Okay,
back to coding.
then-
Back to work. Floop.
Go.
coding and to other questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will there be
Um,
harder difficulties with higher monster density?
I'm not sure about higher monster density.
Yeah,
We
me.
might
me-
get this.
It would rather be like that the monsters would be stronger and maybe smarter or faster or something.
More aggressive, at least. They will
More
attack with
Ah.
higher frequency.
I think I need to drink something real quick.
Yeah, basically,
Actually, let me just turn on
will
the
not
light again.
only. Sorry.
Yeah, just
A good
continue.
turn the light. Yeah. The difficulty will not only change the max HP of the enemies and their attack, but they will also increase the aggressiveness of enemies. So even on casual mode, the enemies will probably not attack that often, but on harder difficulties, they will be pretty aggressive, and you have to look out for yourself. Yeah, Devil May CrossCode. Yeah, that's basically like,
CrossCode.
Yeah.
that's basically the idea behind it. So you fight
Yeah.
with style, and you get rewarded for it. I think in Devil May Cry you get more red orbs or something from it if you fight stylish.
Actually, I
And-
didn't
think
really
so, yeah.
plan adding style. I mean, that's just an idea. I'm not
Yeah,
perfectly sure
that's
we'll do this.
Just to be clear, that's just a detail we might add,
Yeah.
but nothing. Is
For
set in
now, I mean, the
stone,
idea was just that. To me, the idea was I wanted to make the battles longer, so actual people can listen to the battle music. That was actually one of the ideas, and I thought, if you add a feature like this, we can just keep playing the battle music, and because players are motivated to just fight many enemies in a row, and that was one of the ideas. And I think it's also interesting because it kind of makes because otherwise battles tend to be too easy because you just fight for a second, then you have time to regenerate. But here you actually have to push yourself, you have to fight for a longer time, and you don't regenerate in between. So it's just
Yeah.
makes
Much more
things more
interesting.
interesting. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
And there's also the question about the class topic that we talked about a few minutes ago. So Spheromancer would actually be the average class, which which has nothing special. Pretty much, yes. I mean, in case you haven't read the updates that we had like last week about the classes, Spheromancers were basically the first class of Cross Worlds, and the other classes are based on it. So it's a pretty average class of average stats and abilities, and the other classes are more specialized in it. That was the idea behind it. And also Leia versus Samus, who would win?
Oh,
It's good question. I mean,
I'm not sure an avatar is
as-
such a huge challenge for Samus, quite frankly.
I mean, he already answered
yeah,
the question, right?
Hmm?
Leia would win because she has more balls.
definitely. But then again, I mean, Samus has, yes, she just has one ball, like the morph ball. Actually, I
Oh.
think they wouldn't be enemies at all. I mean, I think they would be the perfect team. I mean, just imagine Leia throwing morph ball Samus. That would be like
Oh
the
yes, that would be
most powerful
perfect.
team
Yes.
ever. We need an artwork like this,
Oh yes.
honestly.
Leia throwing with Samus as a morph ball. That's teamwork.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
are there oh god, MRRO Swanson? Are there certain scene people related either Easter eggs in this game? Let's say the Lucilados skill from Belzebor. There will be,
There is already one Easter
Easter eggs. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'm not sure I'm gonna add Lucas classes too.
I mean,
CrossCode.
we already have
But then
the Daikon weapon.
yes, that's a huge Easter egg.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there are already like Easter eggs in the cabins for people that played Velzebor. They
right.
can get a little bit of an extra there. There's also like Easter eggs, so to speak, in bigger Easter egg when you fight the Crab Redux battle in the autumn area with this little symbol on the ground. I'm sure a lot of people actually.
And there are quite a lot of shout-outs in some of the items, so
Yeah, and like we go crazy on the items. Like a lot of these items will have some pop culture references for sure.
there's also something that was posted a while ago, actually. Super Best Friends promoted the Shovel Knight demo, but they were also big friends of the devs. Actually, I think the Super Best Friends mentioned CrossCode in one of their podcasts already.
They
and
did, yes.
were like really impressed by it, but they also were kind of bashing Indiegogo at the same time. So
Yes, a lot.
like I'm trying to quote here. Indiegogo is like the best platform you should use if you don't want your project to be very successful. But this time you should make an exception and support it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like this.
Will this game
But,
have a currency?
I mean-
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, of course, it would be great if they would promote it a bit more, like with a tweet or something, because
We probably have
I
to
mentioned
ask
in one
them.
of the podcasts. What?
We have to ask them about that, and they might actually do this.
Didn't we?
No.
Oh, well, we
We
should
s-
have done that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we can still do it. Yeah, Stefan, go ahead.
All right. Will this game have a currency, or will trade be based strictly on barter? The game already has a currency, but they're called credits. Like, we're so smart. We're calling the future currency credits.
Yeah.
Well,
It's genius.
Trades
It's
are
better
based
than-
on yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
it's better than like calling it Galt or something. Entails
I love gold.
Gold.
Galt.
The trades will be based
Go ahead.
on items, so you need some items in order to trade. But actually, I like the idea of adding money too. Maybe we should do that. It won't be difficult. We just add, instead of an item, you will see the number of money you need
For
to-
trading.
for trading. Wouldn't be that
Yeah.
hard to implement.
Should be doable, I guess. Though, can we display large numbers in the interface?
Yeah, we can display text, right? I just display a text with a number on it.
Actually, that's one I wanted to show the trading system. That's what we forgot. But
Yeah, we can show it later. So
Yeah.
go ahead and do some
Yeah.
coding.
I'm on it.
Just a quick question. Does do the English Tales of localizations also use Galt?
Yes, they do. I play
Okay, so
all my
it's-
games in English, so I understand
Yeah,
the joke.
okay. All right. It's even better in German because Geld, Gold, Galt.
Yeah, it's just a
Anyway.
coincidence that the German word for money is
Yeah.
Geld. and in Tales of they use gold, but they also use
Maybe we
arts
should.
for their techniques, and I like really do that too. So
Yeah, it's a good idea.
we just
Maybe we
moved the
should like change the currency to credits or crudits or credits.
crossies. Why not crossies?
Crosses.
I think we
Crossies.
actually had that
Crossleys.
discussion once where we thought like what would be a good name for the money, and I first off Felix had like immediately credits, and we thought
I?
like oh we need something. Yeah, you just when you added money you called it the property in the player model credits.
Okay.
And, oh no, you use singular. It's credit.
No, I don't know. Could be.
Crowdits. Crowdits is
And
nice.
I kind of I liked it, but we thought of something else, but it didn't really work out. I like credits.
I like trains.
Who is the third guy?
I like
His name is
not today.
the third guy is Felix, also known as Laxen. You might have heard of him. He's one of the developers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Third
I
guy.
guess it was a joke.
The one you see
It's like
on
TV,
Steam is
hello.
Felix. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
Stefan, and
It's-
the other one is
And
know.
is Henning Geflügel.
we all call him just our social bishy.
Damn,
We'll
I'm
so
hacking
slowly-
this so
slowly
bad.
transform into our social ninja.
I'm hacking this so bad, guys.
Social Ninja. Yeah.
What? Sorry,
Social
again?
Forum Ninja.
Yeah, we need not only we need a fun ninja, we need a complete everything.
Right.
Complete social
Actually, a
guy.
nice idea.
Process.
Whoa.
Vice
Someone
colors.
Actually, what I'm
someone make a straw poll.
just a small disclaimer.
w-
So what I'm doing
yeah.
here is very bad programming style. It's just in just for the sake
no.
of speed, so I can actually get something done in 2
Good,
hours.
Felix. Tell
So-
them that we don't do this often.
No, yeah, actually that's something that some game developers actually recommend, to just hack features in first,
Yeah.
see if they work, and then try to optimize and make stuff clean. For instance, like Naughty Dog suggests that. So, yeah, so that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm just going to implement something very quick and dirty, not optimized, just to get something to work, to see if it looks good. And when it
Mhm.
does, I'm going to optimize. I already have a lot of ideas how to optimize the whole thing. But that's for later. Okay, I'm off. That's all. You can continue.
Moving on.
Okay.
Chat.
Lux now.
So, chat, what's up? I see you're talking about stuff.
The chat is suggesting to make a straw poll about the currency.
Oh no, I like credits. Don't take away my credits.
Credits, crosses.
Also, the thing I say to my professors: don't take away my credits, my precious point.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
And where's the not so talkative music guy? Does he mean Intero?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's Taro.
He's Shy Taro.
Taro, yeah,
Scheitero?
Hmm?
He's
Tero.
not here today.
Shy Taro.
Unfortunately, no, he's not here. I know.
Not
He's
today.
he's very moe and shy.
What?
Everything is moi for Henna.
Well, it's not true.
Pixels. I think pixels is the currency in Starbound.
Why?
Oh, yeah, true. I've heard of
It's
that.
pink. I feel stuff here in pink. Why do I? Never mind.
Don't.
You
I
you
do some.
found your female side.
For some, I don't know. For some reason, we are drawing pink in our engine.
Credits where credits are due. Definitely.
Yeah, we could. That's probably a good idea. We should use that phrase somewhere in the game. Credits where credits due. Now give me your money.
Give me all your money.
Give me all your money. Yeah, we should make an NPC that just, no matter how much money you have, takes it all.
Huh.
And gives you like a banana for it or something like that. For scale.
By the
Okay.
way, a little fun fact: a friend of mine is just about to complete the exploration mode for the first time, and she was very amused about the comments on the speedrunning videos that I showed her,
The
and
comments.
on the the
Oh,
comments, like the speedrunning lingo, like the blue barrier skip, corner jump, the orange barrier skip, and the mecha crab one circle. What's that?
mega crap. What's
I
I
loved it.
circle?
I loved
really,
it when they when speedrunners like create simple names for what they do with the skip. They just call it
yeah,
skip,
it's amazing.
orange skip, and I think it's very very interesting. As always, I see people doing crazy stuff like we added a puzzle room, or Felix added a puzzle room, where there are two platforms moving, one moving
Guys,
diagonally
just a short
and the other one
intermission.
using horizontally. Sorry, what?
Short intermission. This is the rendering code. It's one of
Oh,
the worst pieces of code in the whole engine. So I'm not never going to
Quick,
show it
make
in details.
screenshots.
It has like the worst algorithm ever for rendering entities. But I'm just going to add some map rendering here, so continue.
all right, yeah. and
I probably should increase the...
and
Oh, that's...
that map, there was a skip. I really didn't see it. I thought like I finished the room as fast as I can, but speedrunners just did some crazy jump. As soon as you go into the room, you just have to run
Yeah,
across the room, jump skip on the platform and jump skip again, and you can make it just in time. And again, the platforms are magically lining up perfectly, and I don't think we thought of it like that. Pretty
kind of like with like how you see some Mega Man speedruns when with the moving platforms that for some reason really line up perfectly, so you can like jump across a pit without stopping at one point. In some of the
Yeah, like
in some
I
of
said,
those
the dash
videos.
cancel or the dash and did the action cancel
Yeah,
because you can cancel every action into a dash.
with dashing into a dash or into guard as well, I think. Or just dash, I'm not sure.
I'm currently thinking, why do I not provide any arguments here for the drawing method call? That's kind of weird. Probably get them automatically.
So I think the guitar in the chat is actually speedrunner.
Yeah, he is. Is Urinstein
Oh yeah,
here as
that's
well?
the video you just posted. That's this crazy jump, and it just lines up all right. We
This
for some
corner
reason,
jump what or
we
whatever.
accidentally create rooms you can speedrun, or I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking that's pretty cool. I was really surprised by that.
Every fish. Actually, I think 2MG already used that one. Every fish. It might actually be a nice. I mean, if there is every pony, then there can also be every fish.
Right, so here we have the code that automatically determines those. So X, Y, width and height, for short explanation, those are the bounds of the screen, so the part of the map we actually want to render. And we already have a draw method, which just draws the static tiles. And I just added the draw animated, which draws the animated tiles on top of the static tiles, because the static tiles are actually pre-rendered. And so this is just the bounds that we want to render, and I'm just iterating over the tiles within the bounds and check for each tile if this tile is actually animated. I'm just gonna fetch the current tile according to the animation. Actually, I just see there's... Oh my gosh, I just named every variable tile here. That's not gonna work. Yeah, so that's a tile index. So the tile index is computed from the global background nm timer, which is bad style, using the nm tile speed global, which is bad style, and modelizing with an inline 4 number for maximum number of tiles, which is also bad style. So you have like 3 times bad style in this line of code. And then I'm just going to use this tile
All at
index.
once.
So
So
then
it
That's
works.
something.
yeah, it does work. So I'm just going to
Yeah,
take
code
this
is a
new
bit
tile
small.
and
Can
then,
you increase the font
yes,
size?
yes, I
maybe
did. Okay.
again.
So again, here, this is the code where I just, I'm really going to decrease my screen resolution next time. That's the code where I determine the bounds of where I want to draw the animated tiles. Here is the line with 3 times bad style where I compute the current tile index of the animation using the global timer from the game, the global variable for the speed, and taking the whole thing modulo 4. This essentially makes sure that the value always loops over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 0, like 0, 1, 2, 3, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. And that's how you get the looping animation. It's a very simple trick if you didn't know this yet. So modulo is great. And here just compute the bounds of the tiles that I actually have to read, hoping that I didn't make any mistake. It's actually very likely I didn't make a mistake here. But yeah, anyway, so here I just take the current tile. If the current tile has some animated tiles, I'm just going to compute the new tile from the frames here, and then I'm going to draw the new tile at this position.
Yep.
So that's essentially it.
How do you increase the size of the font so fast?
In WebStorm, there's an option to do that. You can, I'm not sure where it is, but you can somewhere set that you can use your control scroll wheel to change your font size. And
Oh, that's cool. I never tried that to be honest.
yeah, I don't know exactly where this option is, but you can probably search it via Google faster than I can. So yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't do this for all files. That's why I actually increased the size before, but then I changed the file and it has a small size again. I wish they would do it globally, but well, whatever.
Yeah, I think for global you need to do it in settings and
Yeah, that's inconvenient. So next time I'm just
Increase,
gonna take a different screen resolution again.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's just a quick overview over the code. I'm now gonna continue writing stuff.
Yeah, we'll probably
Actually,
we'll be able to see stuff soon.
Actually, we can try out first things now, I think.
Debug all the things.
Actually, yeah. Blah. Okay, I have this great bug again where I do stuff which I cannot undo in the map editor.
Okay,
wonder-
what do we use? Do we use fixed updates or multiple updates? We actually use 2 update steps. One is the normal update once per frame. There's an update method, and that gets called, and there's a so-called deferred update, which is basically used to align entities to other entities. For instance, imagine you having a snake, and that snake consists of multiple entities, and there is like a main piece, that's the head, and every entity needs to align that. So we can't guarantee that every entity is perfectly added to the array in such a way that we first call the head and then every piece after that. In the third update, we can say, all right, every entity has moved, and now we are fixing aligned positions, so to speak. But there's more that actually happens in the third update, like menu GUI. I think the GUI events happen in the third update, right?
The GUI events, yes.
Yeah.
That's mostly actually because deferred update is just called once. The update step might be called multiple times per frame. If you have
if there's
you have a low
loss.
frame rate, yeah. If you have
Yeah,
like,
all right. So
that's one reason why we do stuff in deferred update. I think what we use it for is to align effects, like effect sprites are actually
that's
aligned with an entity, and to make sure this always works, they are updated in the deferred update phase.
Yeah, so we don't have a snake now, but that would be a cool mechanic there.
Oh
Yeah, that's right. Update can be called twice if there's. I totally forgot about low frame rates there.
Yeah, it might happen.
We actually used a little. I don't know. Or do we? Do we make sure that animations are correctly that the tiles correctly picked?
So what? I think so.
If you have a low frame rate, then the correct way to do it would be to do a while loop and check if if you have animation indices, so to speak. I think we do that. So it should, at least in low frame rates on my PC, the animations run all right.
I mean, we compute the index depending on the time. And if you have a very low
Yeah.
frame rate, it might be that tiles are skipped. So that's
Yeah,
because if you don't
exactly.
do this, you get a kind of slow animation, which is out of sync, which is worse. So I just added the tile and nothing works. Let's do some debugging.
Debugging in Chrome is pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's very awesome. So let's see if I actually ever get any animated tiles here. I
And
do.
it's so incredibly cool if you do it with a HD monitor, because if you have, like, I have a smaller monitor, I only have 1600 times 900. So if I add the debugger on the right side, the screen gets very small. But on an HD monitor, you can get all these great debugging options while still having the game in a larger resolution.
I think I have an idea why. Oh yeah, because the X coordinate I'm using here is just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's probably why. And yeah, now I have to figure out how PX. It's
Also, that's now what we call the community, every fish. The people of our
cross-coders. I actually had the idea of calling people cross-coders.
Yeah, but we can't decide that. That's something the community decides, and we
That's
can
the community thing.
That's
yeah.
true.
think about it. If they decide it's every fish, then it's every fish.
Every fish. Oh my gosh.
Kind of like, well,
Oh my.
let's hope that our that the reputation of our community still stays strong, even if there is the pony shout out.
Okay, whatever. I could just.
I actually think that pixels is a smart idea for the currency in a game inside a game, for some reason. That's why I like the idea when they use it in Starbound, pixels as the currency. Very smart.
It depends on the game. I mean, if it really is a pixel game, then of course it makes sense.
Yeah, but in a way, Cross Worlds, the game inside the game, isn't a 2D game. We're just seeing from a different point. So it's 2D graphics for us, but for the avatars, it's 3D.
Yeah, right. I think like Pixels is a good idea for a game that doesn't have like a real serious plot. Like for example, Starbound doesn't have a real plot if you think about it, right?
Starbound? I think the plot is you're stranded on a planet and need to gather resources to do stuff. That's it.
But it's not a real plot. It's like
sandbox game. It doesn't need a story.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's why Pixels would.
I'm sorry,
fit,
Kino.
Guys, we have animated map tiles. It works! Yay!
And it only took 1 hour.
We have.
Yay! 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 Not gonna die though. Okay. Yeah. What else? It seems to run. So now we can actually do some proper graphics and see if it looks better. I think now we come to the actual drawing phase. So less coding, more Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I think Geflügel just went. We just lost Geflügel,
Vanished.
I think.
We just lost him.
No.
Internet connections are bad. Yeah, he's missing. I don't hear it because I have set off the Skype sounds.
So did people actually see me coding? I think I just had the browser window on all the time. Anyway, I didn't do much anyway.
No, we didn't. We did see you coding.
Weird. This doesn't react.
Oh, right now. No. Right now, no. I always forget the lag.
Well, anyway, so yeah, so now we
Did you miss me?
No.
Well, do you?
Okay.
I can. What is the word? Um, I can summarize that for you. No. No. Yeah.
Sad.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
There is a very important question. Is there anyone still working on the indie clicker stats?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, actually,
I
we're
sometimes am.
we're clicking. We're clicking like crazy.
I mean, I do have kind of a pretty good automatons, but I'm still trying to get to click. I mean, I'm pretty sure that we will at least be able to get or to stay at third place. I mean, at the moment we are still second, I think.
Yeah, we're second, but we have a
Yeah,
lot. Thank you first. Let's thank the people. Thank you for
yeah, of
being
course. Thank you
sort of
for the
pushed
support.
like crazy to keep us on the second place without us telling you how to cheat again. It's just I don't want to blame any other studio. No, no. It's not guys. Like really.
I mean, the rules aren't really all that strict about cheating, so it's very hard to define it anyway. I think.
Yeah, Lunax Studios are completely cool guys. Like
Yeah,
check the
definitely.
page. Like give me a second. I just give you check out their game. It's like a strategy game, like a little bit of Hearthstone.
It's a bit of
In
a
it.
card game, but more in a vein of a strategy game.
Yeah,
Like StarCraft is a card game, kind of, but it's not
Yeah.
StarCraft.
yeah, that's correct.
Def- and
I'm
I think,
animating.
Felix X pixeling animations.
Yay.
yeah, he's pixeling animations, right? But I think despite it being a card game, it's more about strategy and less about the heart of the cards. But I'm not sure. I haven't played it yet.
So, what are people talking? Crossbits stay crunchy.
Even in milk.
In Germany, we have these
Anything?
sweets
Yes.
called Schoko Crossies.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That
Sugar
was-
crusties.
So whenever we do a campaign, we're gonna give this as a reward. So people who donate this amount, they get like a box of Schoko Crossies.
And I guess we need those as a consumable
Oh
in
yes,
CrossCode.
well, um,
They will
hopefully
be
we don't
totally
get
OP.
into legal
Legal
issues.
troubles, yeah. I guess we gotta rename them a bit like I don't know, Shoko Codies, not Crossies, Codies. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but
Schoko Codies.
of course first we need to get Siri Awesomes.
Mhm.
So, Felix, why don't you talk a bit about your process of animating tiles in Photoshop?
It's pure intuition. I don't know. I just
No, like the way you do it. Like, not all people do animations with Photoshop in that way that you just move the tiles.
did I never explain this? I think I did once when I did the lay animation, but that was one
Yeah,
other.
why not tell people again? I
Sure,
mean,
I
they're
will.
new people, and so
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm just gonna rearrange the tiles and then I'm gonna explain this a bit. So, okay, I can just talk probably. So the basic idea is there's this animation timeline here down here in Photoshop that you can use to animate your current Photoshop file, and one common approach is to just create a new layer for each frame. I don't do this because I don't like working with too many layers if it can be avoided, because I like to jump from one frame to the other and always have to edit different parts. And when you have multiple layers, it just happens very quickly that you're in the wrong layer and you edit wrong stuff and you don't even notice this immediately, and then you realize, oh my gosh, everything's spread out on different layers, and then it's very hard to fix. I just like to work with one layer. So what you can do is you just have one layer and I'm using that word again. Anyway, and then you just move this layer for each frame, and that's how you can get the same effect. So you just move the layer in a way that the graphics are overlapping each other, kind of like that you get the different frames on one spot of the image. And yeah, that's another way how you can do it. And you have just one layer, and you cannot make any mistakes editing the image. And I really prefer this approach. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I love that you're
Alright.
moving up the pixels, so it looks like the water is a bit moving up and down.
Yeah.
Looks very, very good.
That's the rough
Right.
idea. I just want to make it in a way that it moves up and down.
Yeah.
And whenever you do animation, it's very important to have a preview. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
that's otherwise essential. I think it's almost impossible to create a good animation without a preview, unless you're
Yeah, like
just like a godlike animator. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you're like the god of the animators. I think some people, some on the team use a different approach. Like T3, he uses
Image scale,
graphic scale.
Yeah, graphic scale. That's the name exactly.
Graphic scale to like animate, and that tool is basically has a little bit of an easier to use animation tool set.
Yeah.
But I never got into it too, so I think it's cool, like how you can animate just by having this little preview window, which is pretty cool. So you don't need to shift around the whole layer, but you can just add a new frame, and even tell every frame what time the frame should stay, even though we don't use that, but might be a multi-part animation. So what we actually can do with CrossCode is we can play one animation and tell the animation, all right, you have a follow-up animation for some parts of the game.
Yep.
We actually also do that. I think for the Switch, the Switch has like the animation where it goes into the ground, or the one-time switch where you just hit once, and after that it changes to the animation where just the ground entity. It's not an animation, it's actually just one frame.
It uses all over the place. I mean, Layer has a lot of these kind of follow-up animation stuff. Like when when you stop with layer or line, even when you start running, there is a pose that is played before the running animation, which makes it look more fluid. That's a very nice system, I think. So that's something.
Indeed, we only have one layer.
Yes, we only have one. Oh my god.
Move the layer.
Yeah, move the layer.
Too many layers.
There's only one layer. And it has
very, very good.
Kind of. What other puns are there with layer and layer?
Please don't get dragged into it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it already looks pretty swell.
Yeah, for now.
I think it will immediately increase the details for the area, and since we use the same graphics for other areas too, at least the mountains, we can easily adapt these graphics.
For the different areas, you mean?
You mean
so we have a different area, but they have the same wall textures.
Yep.
The same tiles, just with maybe some details, but mostly different colors. It's just more simple. Do you use smear animation techniques in character animations, like the one in Velzabor?
What kind of animation techniques?
You know, where just smosh pixels, like blurry pictures. Like, I think a better explanation would be the Kanto technique, the triangle technique, where he just goes down in a diagonal line.
We do that.
And you just blob pixels into that.
Yeah, we do this sometimes.
Yeah.
If you look, I can show you some layer poses if you want to. Player, layer, which attack, yeah, throw. So like here, for instance, it's not. I mean, it's more detailed here because these are not very extreme animations, but we this kind of like it just looks good having these kind of how do you say? I don't know. Having
What's the
things
word?
blurry, to pixel stuff in a blurry way, though you lose details. It looks good and it's easier to do, so it's like a win-win situation.
It also enforces the impact of some attacks.
Yeah, I mean,
Like because it looks so blurry,
Mm.
it kind of looks like very impactful.
it's very simple. You just simulate motion blur. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in real life,
Mhm.
things get blurry. It's actually something you can afford to do with 2D graphics. With 3D, it's much more difficult. Just generate all these images from 3D models.
Yeah.
You can do motion blur, but it's more expensive. And here, everything is just baked, so you can just add it by hand. Now, if you would start
think we
doing
should-
animations using some skeletal system, I think it's more difficult to add these kind of effects.
Yeah, definitely.
That's one of the things
That's something-
that you can do very simple by using hand-drawn stuff. So
Yeah, that's something you rarely see in games with skeletal animations, like these swoosh attacks. Like they're always very smooth. Like you have a keyframe, right? You have keyframes, and you just play the keyframes. But there's no motion blur. You have to program it in, maybe.
I wonder if they do this still in games like Muramasa or Odin Sphere. I mean, they have very high-quality skeletal animations. I think they might actually do that. But
And maybe they just use graphics for that, right? They use a graphic.
they just
add
do a
that for the text.
combination. I mean, if you want to do real good 2D animations just using skeletons, I don't think really works because it always looks like a puppet. It will never look
Yeah.
like on the same level as proper hand-drawn 2D graphics because the depth is missing. But what you can do is just using a combination of hand-drawn frames and skeleton animations, and I think that might work actually pretty well if you do it in a good way. So that kind of works, I think. I think what might happen.
Yeah, it's in fighting games that's often used, and I think
Oh,
they,
yeah.
especially in the new Guilty Gear Xrd, man, they did
Actually-
some really good smearing animations. Like that's 3D models, but when they attack, they still have these smearing
Oh my.
animations. Like, and it just looks like so crazy if you just see how the camera spins around, and you think like, all right, how did they do this? And they actually remove smooth animations. So
my.
if you attack, they just use keyframes. They go from one keyframe to another
Wow.
keyframe.
I just accidentally did something which I think is a very good idea. I just, instead of making the right frame, the frame where the water is highest, and the left frame, the one where it's lowest, I just made it sometimes this way or the other way around. And I think that's a good idea because that way it will not look like the whole thing is just moving up and down, but it actually looks like there are waves. So
That could work. Yeah,
I think
sounds
that,
good.
so I will do this actually now on purpose. Because so far it was just a mistake, but now we'll do it on purpose.
And that's how you make the game, guys. You
Mm.
do things on accident.
Yep. And not joking. Very often it happens. I do stuff on accident and it looks very
Yeah.
good, and then I just keep it that way. So, how do they say fail fast and sometimes
Yeah.
you might actually succeed.
The same for the menus, right? Because menus we never plan out the animations. It just happens.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea too.
Like the trading menu actually went through a couple of iterations until it
Yeah,
got
but
to
it
the
looks
state. Yeah,
cool.
right now it's pretty good, I think.
It does.
like
I
first
like
we had it. We had the idea that the trading menu is always positioned next to the trader.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of didn't like that because sometimes the mouse was over it and it looked a little bit weird.
And mostly
And
the
then we
menu was
had-
just over the player, so you didn't see the player, which was very irritating
Yeah.
somehow.
Then we had it so that it would be in the center and it would adapt its own size
yeah.
based on the items you need and you get out of it. But that kind of looked stupid because you wouldn't see the player and the trader. So we
Yeah.
moved up the camera when you're talking to the trader, and that was kind of irritating, especially if you played with mouse,
Mm.
because suddenly your mouse position didn't move, but the in-game stuff moved, and it looked a bit weird. So what we did was just doing the things we do in the menu. Put something you select on the right side of the screen, and it looked good. And we made the trade menu at a fixed height.
Yep.
So it always has the same height. And also it looks better when you're hovering over an equipment menu. Then you get a little status window which shows you the stats of the item you're currently trading, including the modifiers. But only if it's if it's a consumable, you will see the buff information in the bottom left, like with all consumables. And normal items just show their text.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm AFK.
All
For a
right.
sec.
Have fun.
He just said that he's gonna be AFK.
What?
Stefan is AFK.
Oh no, our mod wants to put me in timeout for the pun I did.
What did I saw the player thing or what?
Yeah.
That was a bad attempt, I guess. Yeah.
I Come on. Guys, just layer it. That doesn't work. Come on, that doesn't work. Just layer it down. Yeah, I'm actually currently going over the maps again, just testing, and I mean it's actually the first time that I've seen the last maps with the consumables that Stefan added. It's actually pretty awesome. Because maps were already extremely complicated and
Now it's even more.
had so many it had so many hard to reach places, and now it's like, wow, so many hard to reach places, and they have a purpose now because you want to get those stupid consumables that are or those stupid plants that are like
Stupid plans. You already hate them.
yeah, I hate them already. I love them because I want to farm them, but then again I hate them as well because they're so hard to reach and they're taunting me. Wait, how the hell? Oh, Stefan, you magnificent bastard.
What? What did he
No,
do?
no, just confused about how to reach that one plant.
Yeah. I was also
will see when
confused
you-
about it. Yeah, I didn't try it yet.
You will see when you see it. It's like one of those types of things that you can reach this one plant, but only from a certain location. But most of the time you will jump down from that location and not be able to reach that plant afterwards because, yeah.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, Stefan, I was admiring your plant positioning on the last maps.
Gardening skills.
Oh, your gardening
Why?
skills. Your gardening skills are exceptional. Don't you
Really?
ever
Or
dare
you're just-
to? Don't you ever
Just-
dare to complain to me again that my plants are too complicated to reach?
They are non-complicated to reach plants. Yeah, it's just two maps where there are complications, so it's all right, I think. I don't think it's complicated. I know what you're talking about. I don't think it's complicated.
Of course you did
It's not
it.
really complicated. It's just that it's easy to just jump down from a place that you would actually need to be to reach a plant.
Yeah, I
but you
know.
would-
I know.
But you would actually, most of the time, only see the plants when you've already jumped down from that place. That you would
I
need
know.
to be to reach them. That's
I
so
know.
fucking evil.
I
Players will
know.
love it.
I just played Bloodborne, right? And I just
Yeah?
got into the mood, all right? I just had to do it because that's how FromSoft teaches me to do game design. Just put things in places you need to go down for, and you can't go up that easily. again.
So you need to backtrack and go back again.
Yep.
Felix. So basically, those meerkats can go down platforms now.
Yes, they can. And they cannot go up again.
Yeah, I've seen that. I was a bit confused just right now.
Yeah,
All
I'm not
right.
sure. Might fix that later on, but we need to extend the
It's
pathfinding for
a
that.
it's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, more or less.
It's just a bit weird that they can go down but not up. But I guess they're too weak to.
It's too hard to grow up the gravity. I mean,
Yeah,
to dig yourself up against the gravity.
Then again, I mean, there's a question that I'm asking myself now. I mean, if the enemies are insta-matter, like the meerkats, but the ground is real, how are they digging through the ground? Are they like
It's all virtual.
slime? Okay, wait, that doesn't make sense. They're insta-matter.
No, wait, it's all
Wait.
instant matter, I mean.
It might make sense if those Earth holes are also kind of simulated insta-matter, like it's just a simulation of the hole. It's not really there. It's such an interesting topic.
All right.
And no one is
Let's
asking
talk about something else.
Okay, let's do that.
Are those fruit trees? Those are apple trees. Well, you can see them as fruit
Yeah.
trees if you want.
Yeah, they
That's
have
something
fruit trees, not-
Tiku actually did in his stream on Monday, I think. He created those trees. I actually had to change some trees, so there are, I think, like 2 or 3 trees that are new. I added by myself, but the basic idea is completely from the apples on the ground. I also added apples on the ground because I kind of thought like, all right, there are apples, and you just see the trees, and it might look boring. Like I remembered games where they did this, and I thought like, wouldn't it be cool if you just add some small apples on the ground, and
Was it like in Secret of Mana? I think they had like apple trees, but no apples.
Ah, god damn it.
yeah, right. And I thought like, kind of look like we do this with leaves too. So why shouldn't we do it with apples? And it's really easy to
Yeah, right.
implement. And we
And
just
it's-
we
it-
don't
it-
spam the trees. So it's really easy, and
It's
yeah, it was kind of
it's
fun.
really special. It gives many maps kind of a unique feel with different trees and places that have apples. Because
Yep.
because you don't find those apples in every map, or at least not at all that often. I mean, you might find like 2 or 3 apple trees on a map, but it's still kind of special too.
So yeah,
It's
just in
a-
case
a
people
special
actually
landmark.
wondering what I'm doing right now, just for a quick explanation, I'm currently just mapping the different tiles here on the map so I can sample the actual tile ID, so I can just put it in the code. That's all.
Yeah, it's something we actually do quite often, hard coding tile IDs. We do the same with the automatic height map creation. Currently, it's hard coded, these tile indices. They need to be in a
So-
special point
Well,
and a special
yeah, they are.
set in the tile set. They need to be aligned just the right way, or else the height map can't set the right tiles.
Yeah, but I think for the animated tiles, I plan to add an editor pretty soon because I think it's pretty important that you can edit this without hacking.
Yeah.
For the height map generation, it's not that important because we won't have that many different configurations, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Can you harvest
So
apples
we-
by throwing balls at apple trees? No, but there will probably be a lot of plants right next to those trees, and those
Yeah.
can give you items. Like we added 6 new items for the trading for this area. So
Even more or not? I mean,
yeah, there are
Why is it
new.
six?
There's new equipment right now that we used for testing for the trading.
no, I was.
Um,
I think. How many? We have like 3 items that are enemy drops, right?
Right. There are enemy drops too. There are 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4. There are 4.
4, right?
Yeah, you get one from the blue hedgehog.
Yeah, right. the most important one, of course, which is
Yes.
totally not a game shout out again. There's another question. So I saw this update about buffaloes being able to climb stairs, and yes, they can.
Yes.
So my question is the following: Flying shark, when?
Yes.
Good question.
The answer is yesterday.
Oh, flying
Yesterday.
sharks. Unfortunately, flying enemies are really troublesome. I still have to figure out how we want to implement flying enemies in CrossCode. Actually, recently I had an idea how we can make it that enemies can go up arbitrary walls from the navigation point of view. I can do this pretty easily, I think, actually. But now there's still some limitations, though, about that. So I'm not really sure. So flying enemies are complicated. I'm not sure we're gonna have some really awesome flying enemies.
And
But,
also, flying enemies are also in many RPGs with an action combat system are pretty annoying to fight as well. I mean, at least in some.
That's true.
I have to say that
Unless-
I actually like the idea they had in Secrets of Grindia, where you have flying enemies, and those flying enemies
Grindia
come
was
down
great.
at you, attack at you, and you can shield them. And if you shield them, they're getting
That
stunned.
style of Secret
Can-
of Grinder we can do. We can implement enemies that just hover over the ground of a certain height
Yeah.
where you can't hit them, and then just go down to attack you. And in simple scenarios, we can do that. What's problematic is that in complex scenarios that, in theory, flying enemies can just go wherever they want, and that's kind of difficult to implement with the current pathfinding. So then,
And
that's
also,
what's troublesome.
And also, Grindia doesn't have like different height layers, right? Or does
They
it?
do have different heights.
They do. Okay, I wasn't.
I didn't see
wasn't
any
sure about
yet
that.
so far.
You can see it in the winter area. There are
Okay.
different heights, but I don't think that you can see the flying enemies. They're just trying to figure something. No, maybe you just use this trick, but yeah, we can just treat them the same way we treat hedgehogs. They can only move the same way up, down when hedgehogs.
Yeah,
do,
it's a
so-
problem. So there might be flying enemies, but they might kind of move like normal enemies, only they are hovering over the ground. That's possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a quick update because I haven't been in the browser. I'm actually working in the code editor again. I just added all the different tile IDs, so now all the...
We can't see that.
Wait, I can't
Yeah.
see what?
You have to switch the view to
Delay.
the code.
Dude, the delay. I already switched.
Delay.
So, yes, so you can see different tile IDs here, and yeah, so let's see if it works. Now I have to switch to the browser.
Yeah. There's a question: is there a way to show the position of layer on the map? You actually can see where layer is on which map, but I don't think we can easily tell you on where the position of her is, because I don't think it would be just like debugging information. It doesn't net you any benefit to know.
It's kind of challenging
Yeah.
to do because the proportions between the actual map and the overview map is not very consistent, and
Yeah.
the scale might be kind of off, and we could do some calculations and do it somehow. Whoa,
But
okay.
I don't
For
even
that-
think that it's.
For that, no, it's possible. Just as Felix said, we could do it, but the problem is that we need to probably adapt
Something's not right.
every map, because currently we have a rule of thumb basically, but that does not matter. We take the width of the map and divide it by 10, and that's the number of tiles in
So-
the area. But that doesn't always look right, or doesn't seem to be right. That looks weird.
Yeah, no, some tiles are
right.
off. Some tiles are
Yeah.
off. I probably... Let me just redo. But I mean, some
What we
tiles
will
look...
do is oh sorry Felix. Go
No,
ahead.
just... No, nothing. Just go
Right.
ahead. I just... gonna do my thing.
I just copy and paste. Something we will do is icons, right? Like in the map overview. There's currently a little bit of a problem because we can't, we don't know in which icon is in which map. But that's something we can find out through our algorithm. So I'm not sure if we will ever show chests in the maps,
Okay.
but I had an idea for that. What if we simply change the color of the room if you cleared it, if you found every chest in the map? We can do something like that, maybe. Add a little okay, or something like something on the map that tells you you found everything, but not the position of every chest.
Nah, that's too much.
kinda
Right,
like
that would be an idea.
I like that you can see per area how many chests there are left. Because it's very interesting because you don't know if you can see every chest. Some chests might be bound to events. And through the map menu, you can figure it out, and it's okay because that still kind of does. Like if you found every map and you see like, I'm still missing three chests. What's the problem here? And you're thinking like, maybe I need to do an event before that. There was like this always this problem.
This looks
with
much better now, I think.
Oh, you did something?
Yeah, so I fixed it. I had one tile off, and this tile was used everywhere for some reason. It was just bad luck. So I like it. So I guess it would be nice to have some small animations here, but I think otherwise it looks already much better. Just having the border of the water animated helps a lot.
Let me see. Like, oh boy. This looks amazing.
I like it. So,
Yeah.
so we might not actually the draw count is pretty well. It's just 105. It's I may not have count that drawings of those tiles. I probably still need to count those. Oh, it runs pretty well. I mean, on laptops things run pretty well anyway.
And I think the desktop version will only be better. So most of the time it's better, at least.
Yeah.
Waterborne enemies, please. I'm not sure if we.
It's difficult.
It might be an idea for
in-game.
if they are ranged enemies, like
something we
like
should
Octoroks.
probably add is here when you actually fall into the water, there should be some ripple effect. That would be very simple to do. But yeah,
True.
another time. So, I'm just gonna remove those tiles. So yeah, we have animated map tiles, more or less. I mean, it's just a working prototype. It's very hacked, but it works. And I think the water looks much better already.
Also, just to clarify, we when we talk about chests, we mean those boxes, not those other chests that might have jiggly physics. Because some people in the chat
we're
might
talking
get
about
confused.
chests, then. Yeah, let chat be chat.
Chat be chatting.
So, yeah, so we have like a few minutes left. Let's show the trading menu.
Oh yeah, the trading menu.
I just go to
Something
edge test, right?
Felix and I worked on hard.
Yep. I just go to edge test, okay?
Yeah, just go to edge test. Yeah, edge test. Like now you can see my favorite map of testing. I put everything in there I need to test at the moment. I think currently there are tons of item destructibles.
Mm-hmm. And also hedge hacks.
Hedge hacks, yeah, because I needed to test the drops for when you equip certain equipment, you can increase the drop chance for enemy loot, so I needed to test that.
Teleport. Not sure I have it here, I probably have to select it. Okay, so here is the test map with a lot of destructibles. Yes!
Go, drop the
Destroy
frames.
everything.
Need higher drop rate! Ah!
Yeah, like yeah. Right now, as I said, I'm.
No, it's
I'm
a
testing-
realistic drop rate now anyway. So yeah, I just destroyed
Oh
everything.
no, we need to
Successfully
change it
destroyed
again.
nature. Okay, so
we
here's
need-
the trading menu. The first thing we'll notice when you hover your mouse cursor, you actually see a preview of all the items you can trade.
Yep.
And now when you click, the item menu opens, and it's just first you get the item that you get, and then all the items you need to have for exchange. And up there you can actually go through different offers. And yeah, so when you hover an equipment, you on the left side you can see how it influences your stats. Like the quartz will give me +6 attack and lucky +25, so more items for me. And then we have the guide, the giga spiral said to
Everyone who
pierce
gets
through
the
that
earth
the
itself.
reference is the best person ever.
I wonder who did this reference. Yeah, attack +12, so pretty cool. I'm gonna trade for that. And now I got a giga spiral. Is it giga or giga? Not sure. So, doop-de-doop. Where is it? Here it
But
is.
that
Yay.
lucky modifier isn't a Xenoblade reference, right?
What?
Or is
Lucky
it-
Lucky is a Kingdom Hearts reference.
Okay, because lucky
Lucky
kind of
is
sounds like
is the
something.
No. It's
Kind
the
of
it's
sounds
the
like something Ricky would say.
Yeah, that's
no,
true.
no, it's definitely a reference to Kingdom Hearts. It's the same ability in Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, all right.
It's called Lucky Lucky.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the trading menu. Yup.
Lame.
We need a better trade submit button sound.
We need to. Oh no, you're showing all the secret items and equipment items that are.
That are
It's
not really in
it's
the
not
game.
so much of a secret. It's really just for testing, and it's not even
Yeah.
for that. You need an achievement for trading.
Oh,
So now I'm
yeah,
gonna
right.
now
You
just
should-
wanna get an S level.
Yeah, I think you can't do that in this map.
No, I'm just gonna load some. I'm gonna
Load 1.2, Autumn 1.2, and go into 1.
No, I just loaded my save state where I actually have a good level. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is actually learn some skills. Holy crap! Give me some skills.
Neat.
Right now.
Skills.
And it's gonna be fun.
About flying enemies, how about implementing a layer which stops freely moving enemies from moving to a certain area in tiles? Like start slip through enemies. Start slip through entities.
What?
Mhm.
What?
A layer that basically is just information about where enemies can go. So we can say, all right, they can't go into this area. They are fixed in that area, and they don't go out of that area.
So, and because I just want to demonstrate how the music stays on, I will just turn on the music quite quietly. First, I'm
Okay.
gonna save here. The scroll position is not really saved properly. Okay. Here you go.
Yay, critical.
Yeah, the frame rate is really sometimes good, sometimes bad anyway. So,
Oh, it's not. I don't know. Adding a new layer is always an overhead. So if
Not
we would
always.
add a new, not always. I said, yeah. So I'm not sure. We need the information where enemy can go. Probably the best idea would be to save, to give the enemy kind of bounce, which he can move. I think it would probably be much better to do this in via an entity, like enemy entity restriction zone, and not.
where
adding-
are these enemies? I always used to have some enemies here, but they're gone now. So that's why. I think I removed them myself,
Weird.
actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
It kind of
Again.
backfired, didn't it? Also use that. You could also use that. This one combat map that I did like. 2
Oh
years ago
god,
or something.
this one.
Yeah, but they wouldn't drop
Kinda.
anything.
That's true.
True, they wouldn't drop anything. Yeah.
Man, the frame rate is really bad for recording here.
Signposts immediately make everything look more future.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm rank B. Not too bad.
Areas that the layer should just tell enemies areas where they can't go to. Not sure about that. That would be the inverse of what I thought. If you have a layer and that layer basically only tells enemies where they can't go instead of where they can go. I think both would be the same, but telling them where they can go is easier to implement. Especially if you have areas that are just rectangular, it's easy, right? Like it's just a rectangle. But if we use a layer for it, we can also make curves, basically, and that would make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Windows size.
Yeah, do you want to crash the game?
Go
crash the game.
Say that if you have a layer, you can definitely have curves.
And
I'm the best.
yeah,
The next time Hannah won't be here.
You're fired. I kind of imagine this picture now, where the one guy gets thrown out of the window. There's a question again. Were you guys able to finish the skill tree since you have most of them empty? Well, in theory, we plant them out completely. Though there might still be changes, of course, but it still isn't implemented.
some skills still need to be implemented.
Wait, no, that's not true. It's implemented. It's completely implemented. You can activate skills on the skill tree, but you just can't.
Yeah, right. And most skills aren't really functional right now. Like
That's
they don't
that's
do
true.
it. Yeah, like the assault thing. And,
They already changed the values, and you already get your modifiers and everything, but the modifiers are simply not implemented. Just like the neutral screen states in some of the skill sets. So yeah, it's completely done. So you can go in there and activate it. We just need to implement all the skills.
Oh man, I kinda lost my rank in between. Damn it.
The elemental armor is simply something that increases all your elemental resistances in the neutral tree. So it's not something super special. It's just something to buff your elemental resistances.
Yeah.
Right. Already could I have a question from Kinao. How do enemies NPCs perceive the world? How do they move? How do they know where to go, what not to go? How do they attack? Oh, that's actually a very, very broad question.
You mean like from the code point of view, or from how it is in-game from the lore?
Yeah, like, is it a lore question, or is it a question how the technical stuff works? Because I think where they go is simply the navigation.
Yeah.
We just tell them this is the point you want to go, and they navigate.
There's some interesting things how this works, for instance, for meerkats, because they don't go directly to the player, but instead they navigate to somewhere close to the player and then throw something at him. And to do that, I actually do some very stupid trick. I just sample different positions around the player, and whenever one of these positions can be reached, then I'll just go there. So it's just sampling different positions. And this runs fast enough unless you're streaming, then everything is slow.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It looks fine on the stream, Felix.
No, I can't be. It's probably slow that too.
It is a bit slow,
It
definitely,
really looks
but
completely fine to me.
Sometimes it's fast, but then it's very slow, at least for my machine.
right. In the combat, it sometimes slows down a bit, but
No, sometimes it's even fast in the combat. I think it's something with a memory or machine.
Yeah, I
right,
think
right now it's
It's
really
this thing in
fast.
the browser right now, or do you play the desktop version?
Desktop.
Desktop version, alright.
No, full screen.
Because I noticed some drops in frames. I thought they might
Yeah,
be
there's
because
some serious slowdown. But that's definitely because of streaming. I don't have to see it. My machine's just not good enough for that.
Quick question about the rank. Do you keep on the rank if you shoot plants? No. Plants don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
plants don't really influence your rank, and it doesn't. They don't also deserve it. So if you want to keep your rank, you have to fight against enemies.
Yeah, it has to
otherwise
be
it
enemies.
will go.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to say the drop chance doesn't influence the drops from the
Yeah.
from the plants. So you don't need to try to get an S rank to get faster. They have a fixed drop chance.